Hey yo, it's Pickles Barbecue. Welcome back. Today we're doing a collaboration on a stew recipe, perfect for winter, with a guy. He's a fantastic chef and a really good dude, Tommy from the Gallery Backyard Barbecue. So I'll leave his link down below and then a link in the iCard as well. Go ahead and check out his videos. He's got a whole ton of fantastic stuff. And yeah, let's get on with the cook. Hey, so we have our pot heating up on the stove. It's going about almost high. So I'm putting down a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can use vegetable oil, canola oil, but just keep it simple. And then we've got our chuck roast. It's about a 2 1/4 pound chuck roast that's been trimmed up from fat and cubed, about 1-inch cubes. All we want to do is kind of brown it down a little bit. This is going to cook down pretty good because it's got a couple hours to go once we're stewing the meat. So we'll go ahead and dump that in. I'm going to go ahead and stir it around, and we'll meet you right back. Hey, y'all. So we're on high for a while. I'm just cooking the meat down, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to kind of cook down, get a little bit brown. I did turn it down to about medium high. So we're looking for kind of that juice you see in the bottom. So it's a combination of oil and all the stuff that cooks out of the beef. And we're going to use that and put in some flour too, so we can thicken it up a bit. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of flour. You can add as much or little flour as you want, but I like it because it does thicken it up a little bit. Sometimes it needs a bit more thickening, sometimes not so much, but this will melt with the fat that's cooked out of the beef and the oil that we added to the pan in the first place. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some beef broth, just kind of get things started. And then afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and add, I do like the sauce and the gravy, so I'm going to go ahead and add about the entire container, 4 cups. If you don't like it, you can add about 3 cups, but it does produce a good gravy. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our chopped onion. So I take a whole onion, just a white onion, chopped it down, diced it up. Go ahead and add that. I'm going to cook that in, let that simmer with the meat for a little while, just to get that flavoring out. And now it's time to add some of our spices. So we're looking about a teaspoon or so of garlic powder. You can add fresh garlic if you'd like. So I went ahead and added that. Hey, so what we're doing here, we're going to add the flavor for this whole thing, and that's cumin. So I went ahead and added about 2 teaspoons of cumin. You can add more if you want. So I'm going to cook that into the meat. Let that stir down a little bit. Add a little bit more beef broth, rather, as we go along, just so we can stir it up and mix all the spices in. And it smells great already. If you do like cumin, go ahead and add more, because that is what gives it a flavor. And next up, I had some chipotle chili powder. You can add whatever chili powder you want, but I put in about a teaspoon and then stir that into the mix. Now it's time to chop up our green pepper. And this is the way we go about it. You chop from the top, and that'll save you a whole bunch of time, because most of the time you can actually get that white skin off. And then what you're left with is kind of the center of the whole green pepper. And you can save that, use that for vegetable stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice this up, and that's the next thing we're gonna add. So our stew is looking really good. There's our green pepper, chopped up. I'm gonna go ahead and slice that tomato. Take that stem off on the top. Just gonna slice that all up a little bit. And I just wanna dice the tomato. Be right back when we do that. Green peppers and our tomato. Let that cook down for a little while. Go ahead and add in the rest of our beef broth. You can add water or whatever else you want. We're going to turn up the temp too. It's going to cook down for a little while longer. We just want to cover this up. Bring it to a boil and then let it simmer for a few hours, about 2 to 3 hours before the meat gets tender and everything else. That looks pretty good. So we'll turn down temperature. Meanwhile, I was actually doing pinto beans too in the Instant Pot. So you set it for, so I just started out with dry pinto beans, added some onion, some tomato, some chicken bouillon powder, about a teaspoon or so, and then a tomato as well. Set it for manual for about 45 minutes, and then you just let it natural release. So after it's done cooking, just hit the cancel button, and those turn out really well, and they're super easy too, and it's a great addition to Carne Guisada. All right, Joe. I seasoned up the beans because they were tender as anything. So I added a little bit more pepper, a little more garlic powder, because I didn't add that much when I was putting them into the Instant Pot. They're 10 times butter. They're tender, they're perfect. It's just a matter of like seasoning them up in the Instant Pot or afterwards. So that's your take. You know, they're really good. And now let's get back to the main dish. So our beef stew, or Carne Guisada, has thickened up quite nicely. We got a bunch of good gravy on that. Good gravy, son. But it's super nice. And the meat's really tender too. Hey, yo. Go check out the recipe down below. This is fantastic food. So I did end up making tacos out of this. That gravy is fantastic on rice or anything else. And thank you to Tommy from the Gallery Backyard Barbecue for doing this collaboration with me. So I ended up making tacos with shredded up cheese, avocado, and Carne Guisada. Take care, y'all. Pickles out.